Okay, all righty.
Wow, this is a big part.
I'll call this Town of Vinalhaven Board of Selectmen meeting to order for Tuesday, March 25th, 2025. Number one is roll call. Tom Anthony, Lad Olson, Don Young, Wesley Dyer, myself, Elizabeth Bunker, and Marjorie Stratton. Number two, we did not have any amended anything here, so. Number two, approve agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? 3 minutes, approve the minutes from the March 11th meeting and March 20th budget workshop.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Number four, approve and sign treasurer's warrants. Number 39.
I didn't do it, so somebody else can do it.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Okay. Number five, communications.
I just wanted to let you know that I got a nice letter from the Maine Municipal Tax Collectors and Treasurers Association. It says the Maine Municipal Tax Collectors and Treasurers Association has approved Darlene M. Candidge as a recertified tax collector. This certification process has required many hours of dedication to achieve. The certification process requires the applicants receive training in a number of courses that relate to the field of expertise. I just thought it was nice to recognize that I got this letter.
Yeah,
Yeah, congratulations.
yep, thanks. Congratulations to Darlene. Number six, speakers from the floor. Seeing none. Number seven, committee and departmental reports and appointments. Number 7A is new ambulance proposal, Mark Candidge.
Hey,
Hi.
so I think you all saw the proposal that Ryan actually brought up to you guys, I don't know, a year or two ago, maybe a year ago. Basically, it's the same, I just wanted you to have it again, so I'm actually here tonight to see if we can get approval to start that process going. Yeah, as the proposal said, our Rescue 3 is on kind of borrowed time with the engine and all that stuff. I have been in touch with a salesman from Greenwood Emergency Vehicles, who we've done a lot of business with, and they do have service work, so they're a very reputable company. However, the price that Brian has given since last year has gone up considerably to like $410,000 for that same 375 you saw last year. And that's not uncommon at all. That's basically what they're given, is a 10 to 12% increase in bill costs a year. So the deal would be the same as what the fire truck that you guys approved 2 years ago. That if we ordered it now, it would be 2 to 3 years out. That locks in the price at today's price. I did check with them, and that's still the deal right now. And then we pay for it upon delivery. That actually saves, if you will, that 10 to 12% build costs. If we wait 2 more years, it's going to be another, whatever that percentage is figure-wise. I think, we need it now. However, just talking to Lad and Tom, that we're just kind of nursing that one along and running it enough so we know that it runs. We've used it. We used it at the structure fire the other day, and we will use it. It's just we don't want to like put it online and use it for months at a time, just to try to save on the engine. So that's kind of what I'm here tonight to ask if y'all blessing to talk to Greenwood if you so choose to enter into some agreement to purchase an ambulance.
Okay.
We're also in a good spot to, if you will, as far as replacement schedules. Our current Rescue 2 is 2011, so be roughly 15 to 16 years old when that one, if a new one came in, that would put them roughly about, we replaced one every 30 years in that kind of a cycle.
I have a question. So are you looking to get a floor model. I remember Ryan talking about getting a floor model or a custom made.
So it wouldn't be so one reason why we wouldn't ask for a floor model, you don't save really any money. The thing you would get is you'd get it sooner, and we're kind of looking a little longer so that, so we can fund this all by, the reserve account. So if we put in 100,000 this year and 100,000 the following year, that money should be in there to pay for it at that time, instead of saying, we want a floor model, and they say, okay, there's one available next month. Well, we don't have the money set aside, currently for that. And I don't know what there is for floor models, if that's the right term for it, but.
Yeah.
How much do we have in reserve now?
266, I think you said.
Yeah, we were talking about it just today, but let me. Let's see. 233,388.
So we're looking at roughly another 200,000 to 100,000 for, when would the delivery probably be?
2 to 3 years.
So we could probably do a 50,000 if we wanted to then, since over 4 years, or divide the 200,000 by whatever years you think it's gonna be on the delivery, rather
Yeah,
than taking it all at
I
once.
think it's two to three would put us $100,000 a year, right? I mean, for 233, 333, 433.
You don't want to deplete the reserve completely.
To zero, right?
Right.
And so,
I think
my
we
hopes is
adjourned
I
it.
can get it a little cheaper. I think,
Well, there.
you know, we said we're gonna go with a gas engine just because of all the emissions and regens and stuff with diesel. He recommends that we go gas. I think a lot of
You don't wanna let,
No, we don't. No, so my hopes is that we can bring that cost down from the 410 to like 402,000 area, but I didn't wanna lock it in like right at that in case, you know, we start specking out, we wanted an extra light here and that's, you know, another $1,000 or whatever it may be, and then, well, I gotta come back to you guys and say, well, can I have another
so
$1,000?
what makes sense. If we need it, we need it, what choice do we have at this point?
That's kind of where we're at.
Community's not getting any younger, and
What's that?
community's not getting any younger.
Absolutely not.
Plus you wanna have some in your reserve fund left over, just in
Right.
case.
Anything else? Okay, I move to authorize the fire chief, ambulance director to order a new ambulance at a cost of $410,000 to be delivered in approximately 2 to 3 years. No down payment is needed.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you all. I hate to
Thank
look
you,
out,
Mark.
I gotta go teach a training course now. so. Thank you all,
Thanks,
appreciate it.
Mark.
Thanks.
See ya.
See ya.
Cheap out of it.
7B, downtown project. Gabe?
Hi, how's everyone
Gabe.
doing? I'll just give some quick updates and yeah, just to let folks know, you know, we're, like I said, we're staying apprised of federal funding, the federal funding freeze, which actually isn't a freeze anymore, but Marjorie and I did have the opportunity to speak with a couple representatives of the for the main delegation and on Friday, and they had encouraged us to directly share our, you know, all of our federal grants with them so they can just kind of stay apprised of those grants in particular. Like I said last time, there's no indication of those grants being at risk or being flagged. The newer ones have been already DOJ reviewed. So anyway, we'll keep you all posted. If there's any, you know, if any of you want to like kind of see where we're getting our information from and sort of like how we're staying apprised of the court cases and as things evolve in the courts, let me know. I'm happy to share that information. We share that with our downtown project team in our weekly meetings. So just wanted to share out that piece. I would say all things are going well. We did sign the, well, there actually wasn't anything to sign, but we signed off on the EPA funding, which was our congressionally directed spending that we received for 2022. So that's all set to go. We've got that grant agreement. We are still waiting for our updated grant agreement from EDA, which is that phase one money. So we're kind of doing a push on them to make sure we get that and get our designs approved so we can still go out to bid on around April 15th. And everything else looks like it's on track in terms of designs and submitting them and having them reviewed. So I don't think we have any issues. Marjorie, am I missing anything that we talked about?
No, but we keep, to use Dave Allen's word, nudging Maine DOT about the MPI grant. And he did contact me today that he will try to nudge it along. We just need an updated contract. The previous contract was outdated and needed to be renewed, but he called me about 3 weeks ago and said that there was no problem, we would get the money, so we're just waiting for the contract to come in. But he notified me today and he said that he would try to, his words, nudge it along, so.
Great.
I got a quick question. How much of phase one is covered by grants and what's the number we're looking at?
Okay, I'll have to ask you to give me just a second because I don't keep these numbers in my head, but let me pull it up, Don, so I'm answering you correctly.
And at the same time, kind of look at what would be the total phase one cost, just, I kind of forgot the number.
There's also a stakeholders meeting tomorrow morning, if anybody ever wants to log into those.
I would recommend that that's what you do if you want information.
Yeah,
Because that's,
people ask questions, and sometimes that brings out some good information as well.
yeah.
What time was that?
8:30.
You know what, Don, I think I would ask that you give me I can come back in a minute and answer that question. I'm just looking because there's our federal grants for, I don't have it necessarily broken down by phases. I have it broken down by, funder. So I would have to do some math for you.
We can get back together.
I
Okay.
think that,
Offline.
I think, Gabe, that's, if he, you can give him the information tomorrow at the meeting, if you're gonna attend that stakeholder meeting.
Yeah, should be able to.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
I'm happy
really
to
do.
email it to you as well, Don. I'll do the math right now and send you an email.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Gabe.
Sure.
Yeah, I do think that you get a lot of information
Yeah.
from those meetings. So, anyway, thanks, Gabe.
Okay, thank you all. I'm gonna hop off. I gotta head to something else, so I appreciate you all. Thank you.
Yep, thanks.
That's good.
Bye.
Number 8, old business, nothing. Number 9, new business, renew mowing contract. Audrey?
So my proposal is just to renew the contract with Bruce Groening, but we also want to take some things out of the contract that don't seem to be working for anybody, to include the locating and maintaining the cemetery boundaries. I don't really think that's the job of somebody that's basically doing the mowing. Cut and remove any brush that is encroaching into the cemetery, and to fill holes or sunken graves as soon as they are noticed. I think these are things that we can work with other people to try to get done. I was talking with Larry Rotolo about working with him to try to, I mean, you need big equipment to pull those stones up and fill in underneath. It's not really a job for somebody that has the mowing contract. But Bruce would continue to, you know, if there's fallen limbs and brush and things like that, of course, he would be picking that up and removing it. Anyway, that's my proposal.
Sounds good to me.
And I think the cemetery committee's got a good reserve, right?
Yes, they do, they have.
Well, we have the perpetual care fund, there's about
Right.
$67,000 in that, and so, I mean, I don't think there's any reason why we can't use that to do some of these projects, like fixing up and lifting the stones.
Yeah, all that
And,
going around.
And if there is a big problem of bushes or trees encroaching around the border, we can, you know, that would be I would say a bigger project.
Yes, certainly the boundaries, keeping the boundaries clear with trees and stuff shouldn't be part of mowing, so. All right,
I don't have it.
what'd I do with it? I'll find it here in a minute. Oh, there it is. Oh, dear. Any more questions on this? Okay, I'm gonna make, I move to approve the renewal of the mowing, trimming, lawn care, and maintenance for town cemeteries and other town properties with Bruce Groening for the term of July 1, 2025 through June 30th, 2026, for the amount of $45,000, amending the contract in attachment B, performance, it's on the back of the, performance requirements to remove the requirements to locate and maintain the cemetery boundaries, cut and remove any brush that is encroaching into the cemetery boundary, and fill holes or sunken graves as soon as they are noticed or within 48 hours of notice, and to authorize the town manager to sign the contract.
Second.
That was a wordy motion. All in favor? Thank you. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Okay, I'm gonna put that over there so I don't lose it. 9B, Knox County Sheriff's Department contract.
So I had a couple of meetings with the sheriff and the new county administrator and the chief deputy. And they wanted to propose some changes to the contract. You know, what was one of the, they talked about changing who pays for some of the vehicle maintenance. And they kept saying that the wording in the contract was cumbersome and really needed to be clarified. There didn't seem to be anything, you know, that would change the amount of money, really, but.
Well, I know one thing we discussed was the 75-25.
Oh, yeah, that was one thing, they wanted to change, that was a big change, they wanted, so right now, when we get a bill, for the first deputy, they calculate the cost, and then they charge us 50%. For the second deputy, we have to pay 100%. What they're proposing is that we pay 100% of the cost, and then they reimburse us at the end of the year for the 50%. And then they had another proposal that it would be, the cost would be split, for each deputy, it would be 75-25, that we would pay 75% and they would pay 25%. And then today, Amber Christie called and said that there were too many changes that they were talking about, and they just wanted to renew the contract as is.
But we just went through 2 meetings
Yeah,
and discussed each
yeah.
thing.
We were supposed to get a red line version to bring to the board.
From them,
Yes.
and
Didn't get
That's what they
that.
said.
She emailed and said that their new proposal is just to renew this contract as is.
And I don't know, I mean, we're all in agreement that it is ambiguous, some of the wording is ambiguous, but the one question I had was, the town will provide fuel and routine annual maintenance, oil change inspection, et cetera. And I said, what's the et cetera, you know? That could, and,
Kirk.
Polky.
Kurt,
Well, Polky, no, but Polky, what's his, is he,
Patrick Polkey.
right,
the
but is he a
sheriff.
the sheriff, okay.
He said anything that comes up.
I
so
know,
that was
he was
troublesome.
like, oh, the O-rings and bearings, I'm going, that's not annual maintenance, that's like,
It's major repair. There's a
you
difference
know,
between-
and so I didn't like the sounds of what he was talking about, it's like, I don't know. So clearly they have some other ideas than what
Well,
Martha and I did.
So I guess the question to the board is, are you okay with just renewing the contract through to December 31, 25?
Is that wording still in there?
I would be.
Sorry?
fine.
Oh, yeah, but we,
With no change in anything, just
not right now, right?
to deal
I
with the
mean,
other
we-
when it comes along, I guess.
I mean, we need to have a signed contract, I would think,
Well, it's better that way.
yeah. I mean, don't have anything right now, so,
They could change the price on us and we'll let go of the contract, but
it's all right.
I mean, if you agree, I'll just tell her to draft a new contract like this one, changing the dates through December 2025? Is that,
So the et cetera is still gonna be in there?
Until they send us the red line,
Yeah.
which
Okay.
hopefully we'll get that.
and in reality, that will have to come to the board to be signed, so.
Okay,
I guess we just need a consensus to move forward with, in that.
Sounds good to me.
Okay,
All righty.
I'll let her know then, thank you.
Yeah, it's all kind of. Whatever. Okay, moving on to 10. Budget workshop, A, CEO, LPI budget. And I move to approve the CEO LPI budget for $34,197 as proposed by the town manager with a 3% cost of living raise for the code enforcement officer.
I would propose that we consider the budget committee's recommendation and maybe find a compromise between the two.
I'm asking for a second.
second.
All in favor? All against? Passes. Thank you. Um, 10B cemeteries.
Can I ask a question to go back on the CEO? Does that mean we don't need an executive session?
I'd still like the executive
What-
session.
I think the select board's gonna have, meet, but you won't have to join us.
Oh, yeah, I'll be there.
I think it's just
Well-
gonna be with the board, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
I thought you said me too.
I came up to your office today and I said you wouldn't be in the executive session. It's not a disciplinary hearing, it's not a hearing.
Oh, I thought I couldn't bring anybody. I didn't hear, I
Oh,
wouldn't be
I
here.
apologize.
Cemeteries. And where are you, cemeteries? There we are. Any discussion on this?
across the board.
Okay, good. Any other discussion?
Dawn? Okay. I make a motion that we accept the proposed cemetery, the cemetery budget as proposed for, what's the total?
37,750.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor? C, library.
Yeah.
I'm good. Any questions on that one?
Okay. I make a motion that we approve the library budget as, for $129,868
Right.
as proposed.
Second.
All in favor? Social services and donations.
I'm fine with that one.
Okay,
Me too.
Yeah, I'm good.
Dawn?
Fine.
All set? Okay. I make a motion that we approve the social services donation budget as, for $4,983.
Second.
All in favor? Okay.
I don't have any questions.
All
Where
set?
are we on now?
I'm sorry, planning and community development.
There was a difference of opinion on this one. The budget committee wanted to add $5,000 to service fees for the sea level rise committee for monitoring assistance. My presentation was such that we have $5,800 left in the monitoring grant. But the budget committee did still want to have the additional 5,000. So that's why there's a difference between the manager's request and the budget committee.
What exactly would that be for again?
I can answer that. I'm here.
Oh, thank you, Margaret. Yes, please do.
We have tried to hire somebody to help us do the weather station, and we are adding more sensors at all of the tide gauges so that it's done by sensor, so we have more accurate data. And we have spoken with the Hurricane Island, who has a guy that does all of their widgets, to call them, what, for lack of something else to call them. And I have been managing to keep the things up and running by talking to Matt on the phone, but we really do need somebody that mans that. And it's just part-time, and we've never found anyone to do it, which has been the problem over the last few years. So we're hoping, Matt's given me a job description, and hopefully this guy from Hurricane will do it. If not, we'll list it in the wind and see if we can find anybody locally that will work with Matt to keep all of the sensors up and running. Basically, it's just a little bit of tech work every now and then.
So how much exactly do you think it will cost?
Well, he charged $70 an hour for the technology of it all, but he doesn't think that somebody would try. That's the problem. We have no idea, which is why we asked for the extra money. And obviously, if we don't find somebody this year, and Matt's never billed us, that money that's in the grant is money that I guess we are calling it part of just the sea level rise budget. But if it ends up being, if we add all these sensors, there's work on the water tower again. We had to hire Tom Hedstrom last time to do that, which was $2,500 to get the wiring up there. It's just, we don't think the 5 would be enough for the new sensors that we hope to add this year. And the
Right.
5 that we're asking for is for hourly maintenance of it, because that was part of our contract when we got the grant, was to maintain the weather station once we got it up and running.
Is Matt the fellow that used to be here?
No, Matt is the volunteer that actually installed it. He works for MIT. He just loves widgets, and he works for Hurricane Island for nothing. And he's the one that designed the system and installed it. He's the one that orders all these sensors through the town office. He's a professor. He lives in Rockland. He's got a house in Rockland. So he's just majorly interested in the Gulf of Maine's, particularly Penobscot Bay's data. So that's why he is doing all this for free, basically.
Any thoughts on that, you guys? I mean, I think that is very important work. We know the Gulf of Maine is one of the fastest warming bodies of water in the world, so I don't disagree with the importance of everything.
I mean, I
Well, one
can't,
last thing, NOAA actually is the entity that came out and surveyed the height, so we know that they're incredibly accurate because NOAA wanted to use our data. So the thing about the data we're collecting and have for, I don't know, 4 years now, is it very much sought after data.
Interesting.
Just for curiosity, how much of an increase have you seen since you started the measurement?
It's mostly the tides are not as well. The tide predictions used to be very accurate. They aren't anymore, and it's not always with a storm. Sometimes we have a really high tide on a very sunny day, which we don't understand, and they're hoping to understand that better. Why is this tide that was predicted to be 9 feet 10 and a half, and when it's another foot higher, that will be a lot more noticeable.
Right.
So there's a lot of questions that they're hoping to be able to answer.
Who was on the committee at the time?
Linnell and
Gabe,
Gabe, yeah.
Casey, Molly, Kevin, and we have a new member, Bethany.
Yeah, because I wanted to ask a question, if you had projections on tide increase over the next 20 years, for instance, with the data that we've had.
Well, one thing that we're trying to do is to meet with Letitia, who's the GIS guru. She's the one holding all of our data for the tide trackers, which is the sensor. And we hope to be able to have that. I mean, Gabe and I have been trying to make it available in a readable form so that over time we can see how it's changed. Right now, it's just a set of data, which nobody can really, Letitia can read it, but the rest of us can't. So one of our goals this year is to get that better, so we understand it and can give it to the public. And I can ask Matt that question about, what is do we see any predictable change in the 5 years we've been doing it?
No, we can go offline and discuss it further, but it's obviously very important.
Okay, so any suggestions or
If we need it and it's good data, I'm in favor.
Okay.
I'm fine with the 5 grand increase.
If they don't use it, if it's just sitting there, they don't use it, they don't use it.
Right.
Go in reserve.
Yeah, and it's still under what it was for budget last year, so, like $3,000.
All right, so I will make a motion that we accept the planning community development budget as proposed by the Budget Committee for $43,890.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you, Margaret.
Thank you. I love this stuff.
I know you do. Do a good job. You all do a great job. And F, law enforcement. Since we don't have a new contract, we have to plug along with what we have here.
Is this with their? Is this figure with their proposed, did they propose an increase? Or is this based on the same contract?
It's based on this contract.
Okay. Big budget.
Well, that's what everybody wants, is to have the sheriff deputies here.
The increase, I suppose, is having 2 full-time deputies and costs associated with that.
All right, so this was approved by the Budget Committee. The increase is primarily, let's see, sorry.
Service fees went up.
So that's the same. It's all in the wages
Right.
that we have to pay in the in the contracted services,
Right.
but it's,
Right.
increase in, so whatever.
So having the 2 full-time deputies, which we didn't have all year last year, that's where this primarily was.
And what I do is I contact the finance director over there and I try to the best of my ability to understand what they will be paid. And then I do,
Annualization based on that.
so there's 2 deputies, and with the base pay. Yeah, one base pay is $40.69 and one base pay is $42.62.
Times 2080.
Yeah, and then I have to add in
all
the
the
island,
benefits and all that
yeah,
stuff.
so I try working with the with the county finance director to try to determine, you know, and you have to guess at things like if there's any overtime, you know, but.
Overtime should be a lot less with 2 as opposed to 1.
Any questions, anything else? Okay, make a motion that we approve the law enforcement budget as proposed for $317,120.
Second.
All in favor? Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, I'm sorry, Marjorie.
No, that's okay. You had asked me to finalize all the changes on capital projects. And just bring it back. Is that something you still want to do? I mean, it ended up being a total of $771,600.
Oh, yeah. Did we not approve that, or we just asked
I
for?
just remember the discussion, I said, after I make all these changes, would you like me to just bring it back?
Okay.
For review?
couldn't remember.
Was there?
How did I leave it?
Hard to believe why you can't remember.
I just said Marjorie will recalculate capital projects for a vote once updated.
Okay.
Oh, so we didn't, okay, I didn't think we did. Okay.
Where are they in the packet?
Right here. Oh, yeah,
Capital
right here.
project reserve funds.
I can see that good from
If you go
here.
past Public Works, it's the next page, past Public Works.
It is near the end. 3 pages before the end. Third
Oh, there
page,
they are.
yeah,
Yeah, gotcha.
okay, sorry.
It stuck together on me when I went through. Thank you, Marjorie.
I'm happy to review anything that you don't recall, or,
I can go through, what did we do? Added 8,000 to the Lanes Island Reserve for guardrail work. Add 25,000 to the Western School for the parking lot pavement. Add 5,000 to Public Works Garage Reserve for the salt shed door. Removed 5,000 from the old fire hall reserve. And the 50,000 for the, revaluation.
Yep, it's all coming back to me now.
Are we good on the ambulance reserve? Do we need to add more of that?
oh, I think we're good with
We're
that.
good.
Yeah.
I forgot what we talked, I remember when we talked about that.
Sounds good.
Okay, all set? Alrighty, I make a motion to, accept the capital projects reserve funds as provided, I don't know what I'm trying to say here.
As proposed by the.
Proposed, thank you, by the,
Manager? I think they were the,
the
oh
budget,
no, the budget committee's is more.
and so is the Board of Selectmen's, it's the same as the Budget Committee. Oh, right, because we approved,
Didn't we
We
approve
added more.
yeah,
capital projects?
yeah, we added,
I think we approved it as amended with the changes Marge was gonna make.
Marge was gonna,
correct?
we didn't take a vote, Marge was gonna like redo the spreadsheet so you could see the final numbers.
Right.
But the components and the changes have been all agreed upon.
so I used
So
the,
I think we make a motion to approve as
I used the
understood.
Board of Selectmen.
Okay.
Is that the one I use? Okay.
Sure.
Okay, so I will repeat my motion to accept the capital projects reserve fund as, in the amount of $771,600.
Second,
All in favor? Okay. Yeah, that got a little confusing there.
does that mean we're done?
I think we're done.
Holy crap. I am so happy to be putting this down for the final time.
Done with that much anyway.
Well, I think the budget committee's done with Margie's done a very good job this year, and it really does make it easier on the selectmen when they've done that kind of work ahead of time.
Well, next year we'll get started a little earlier, so it's not such a burden,
Yeah,
so.
but they did do a good job, I believe.
Oh, absolutely. I do not disagree.
One quick,
Yep,
a report of secretary.
a report of secretary, okay.
I just wanted to let you know that I approved, the special event liquor license for the Vinalhaven Community Brewery, number 6 and 7
Okay,
for, would have been last weekend, 3/21, and this coming weekend, 3/28.
okay. I wonder if they had any more news of when they might be getting their approval there. It's too bad it's taken so long.
Do they plan to, have, when they get the license, have they indicated where they're gonna set up? Is it gonna be at the current location or?
I believe.
Great, because it's nice to have another option around town.
Oh, I know, absolutely. Nice to see it on Main Street.
Yep.
Number 11, report of town manager.
I just have a couple of things. We finally did receive the copy of the airport survey. You know that quite a while ago now, we had asked to get that done. We had talking about bush and tree clearing and, you know, possibly increasing the footprint. But anyway, we finally did get the survey finalized. And then just to reiterate what you just said about the budget committee would like to start next year earlier in December, just to get going. Maybe the first meetings would be planning meetings, but just to get started earlier. And then they had another proposal to, I don't know if any of you remember that we used to put underneath each warrant article, we would put budget committee voted, you know, 5-0 or 3-2, and then selectmen approved, that kind of thing. If you want to go back to that format for the warrant, I mean.
Patrick, can I explain why we proposed that?
Yes, go ahead, Margaret.
I've actually had somebody ask me why we did away with it, and they said it helped them know that everybody just didn't vote unanimously for every budget. That it was actually discussed, and there was two different bodies that talked about the budget. It was just something that I remember having, and somebody had asked me about it, so I just thought it might, if it helps somebody, it doesn't hurt us to put it in there.
It's extra work. I guess I'm trying to say, it's fine with me either way, if you want me to do it. I guess the only drawback I can think of is that sometimes when we put that in, then either the current select board or the budget committee would come back and say, well, I didn't vote for that, and, you know, there would be a little bit of a controversy about what I put in there for the votes, and, you know, that's the only drawback that I can think of. I think people did like it for some reason.
We weren't talking about putting names down, just numbers, 3-1 or 2-1, not
Oh, I
names.
know, but people would come back and say, oh, I don't remember that being 3-2, I think that was, you
Well, it's in
know.
the minutes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
documented, so it's,
And transparency is normally good.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing.
No, I don't either.
All right,
I just don't see why anyone would think that everything was unanimous. I mean,
Maybe they think that we don't meet together, or they don't meet, so I don't know, I have no idea.
okay.
But anyway,
what
that's
was-
fine, yes.
I think it was that I have, I got the. I think that was all I had.
Number 12, report of members. Hold on just a second, Tom?
just this letter here from the cemetery committee, did we discuss that, about potentially adding a,
Oh, I'm sorry, Eric Davis called me about an hour and a half ago and said that they would rather wait and have a particular agenda item, to discuss any proposal for that.
okay,
I should have mentioned that.
no, it's okay.
I had a question. Is where they did that work, the water district by like Stony Lonesome on the hill, is that on them to fill that back in, or is it on town?
Well, the Department of Public Works will fix that I mean, I think the weather hasn't been conducive,
Is that
so
that continuous leak we see on that location?
it's not, it should be fixed now.
Should be fixed.
It is fixed.
I haven't been that way for a
So-
while, so.
I haven't seen.
Yeah, no, they'll fix that.
Okay, I
when
didn't know
the-
if it was on the water district to
Right.
get it done, or,
Yep.
or Public Works.
They're
So-
working, you know, they would help for that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hopefully the weather will get nice enough so they can get that fixed. It's a little better. Didn't they put something in there?
Looks like a little better.
Yeah, but it was quite sharp there for a while.
Yep. I hit
In
that
a
hole
fairly
few
high
times.
traffic area.
Very high traffic.
So, okay, that's all I had.
Okay, thanks, Lad. Dawn, you had something?
It was brought to my attention that there are people that are not following procedure, protocol regarding contacting the sheriff's office. And there've been, reports that one of the deputies has had, for the last few weeks, had at least 6 people come to his house, often late at 10 o'clock at night. That's not acceptable, and we need to address that. Marge and I spoke about it, trying to find the best way. We don't want to lose these guys, not fair to them or their families, to have someone come to their house that's a private residence. They need to come through dispatch if they want to do it. Now, if they're out in uniform, yeah, I think they can talk, but no, don't come to their houses.
Right. No.
Yeah.
Something in the wind, maybe?
We did
There
that.
is one coming this week, yep, a big, bold,
Yep.
with the number to call, non-emergency.
Non-emergency number.
Well, we discussed the fact that that might happen, so I think that's
So
good
if
that
someone
they.
drunk shows up to
Human
their house
nature.
at night at 10 o'clock, it
Well,
is not right.
No, it isn't, and like I say, we did have a discussion earlier at another meeting quite a while ago about the fact that that might happen, so hopefully the ed and the wind, and hopefully their perseverance to tell people, to keep telling them to go away, I don't know how they handle it, but
Yeah, well,
that's good, thanks, Dawn, for bringing that up. I got oh, Leslie, I'm sorry.
That might mean skipped.
What's my name?
I don't have anything.
All righty.
It's nice to not be acknowledged. I'm just giving you a hard time. I don't have anything.
Okay, thank you.
For asking.
All right, I got a text message from Jason Joyce, and the written article, where the heck is it? Did I print that? Did you get that?
The
Anyway, the
legislation.
LD 1231 is the name of the bill that's going in. And it's sponsored by Billy Bob Falkenham and Senator Beebe Center of Knox, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other representatives and senators from throughout the state. So that will be introduced to keep the ferry, to support the use of ferries for emergency medical, fire, and law enforcement needs, including mass evacuation. The Department of Transportation shall require the Maine State Ferry Service to nightly dock a ferry vessel that carries vehicles overnight in the town of Swans Island, Vinalhaven, North Haven, and Islesboro.
Nice.
This bill directs the Department of Transportation to require the Maine State Ferry Service, that reiterates it, to nightly dock a ferry. So that will be introduced, or was put in. Okay, so that's a good thing. And that, again, that bill number is 1231, LD 1231.
Elizabeth's been tracking the legislative action.
Every day. I have, Jason contacts me when he has things to tell me, so that's good to know, too. Thanks, Lizzie. Okay, yeah. I make a motion, number 13, excuse me, I make a motion that we go into executive session to discuss a personnel matter pursuant to 1 MRS Section 4056A.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Margaret. At 5:55.
Okay.